Hey guys, here I am, Monday live again. Just got in under the skin of my nose. We're trying to get in. The bank is calling me, the IRS is calling me. Everybody's calling me. But here we go on Monday live. We have some questions and we have a whole team here. I got a few things to tell you today. One of them is about my son. He's pregnant. Oh, no, not that part. All right. Listen, my son is doing his cooking show. We're going to show you some videos to help me out, ask him for his recipes and stuff like that. We didn't put it out yet when you see it, so I want to let you know. Ask him his recipes. He'll give you his recipes and talk about his stuff, and that's coming pretty soon.
How was your Easter, boss?
The Easter was good. I was by my son's house. One of my people, Megan, came to my son's. My son invited her over, and there was my son, my grandson, my sister-in-law, one or two other guys, and Megan, and we had a good time. We'll show you that on Instagram. The food that he cooked and he made was absolutely stunning. You know, I will tell you one part of it now. He made lamb chops. Now, I don't like lamb, and I could have devoured the whole dish. I had 2 pieces. I left the rest so that everybody could eat. I never tasted lamb chops like that in my life. They're a little fatty, which I like. They melted in your mouth. It was the best lamb I ever had. So my son had told me that it's not just, you know, because I said, what did you marinate this with? And he said, it's not just that. It's where you buy your meat, where you buy your stuff. That's the biggest part of it, you know, certain places. And then he'll tell you how to marinate it and stuff like that. So I just want to let you know that. And let's get into some questions and we can keep going.
Mike Sudar, he asks, when planning the Johnny Keys hit, did it ever dawn on you that since he picked the country club that he himself may have had some of his crew scattered in the parking lot to watch?
I thought of everything. I thought of that. He was thrilled that there was armed guards in the guardhouse, and he went there before there's security. Where I wanted us to park and him to park, it was not in the front because the front would be crowded. It's not in the back. I didn't want to get too close to where the cops were in the booth. So the plot I put in that there wasn't many cars in any place really that I wouldn't see his people. And I saw them when I left. They were all at the place. We waved goodbye. So I thought of it, but this was coming down. I had enough guys there, enough artillery there. If his guys were with him, they were all going to go.
Also from Mike, he says, Jerry Capisi reported that he heard that Big Louie is the new acting consigliere. Any thoughts?
I didn't hear anything about Big Louie being the consigliere, but if he is the consigliere, you know I know him well. He'd be the perfect pick. He's a good guy. He's got balls. He's good with people. He's not a vicious guy who wants to hurt everybody. Tough guy. But if he's the pick, I think he's the perfect pick.
Lastly, on the Keys hit again, you said you didn't want to take him out in the diner because there's families with kids, but the Paul hit took place in front of families with kids. Not judging, just confused on the difference.
Yeah, the difference is that I had an option to get away from this small restaurant, Friendlies, and they were jammed in with kids all over each other, real close. I think it would have been impossible to do without hurting somebody else. The other thing is that we waited a long time. We got an off that it was happening, a meeting at Spark Steakhouse, and we thought that most of the people would run as soon as it started. Everything worked out good. We didn't want to hurt any innocent people. If cops got involved to try and stop them, we would have killed them. If innocent people would have came in to try and stop the hit, we would have killed them too. So all the options were given. It seemed to be the best place. Confusion was on our side. And that's what we all thought. And that's what made the difference in the place. And they're in the street. They can get out of the way, run out of the way, which they did. In a restaurant like that, the confusion, I think, would have been a disaster. Too many people, 100-something people in a small little joint, all getting up, trying to protect their kids or run, I think would have been a disaster. So it wasn't just me. We all thought that that was a bad idea. When my crew looked at it, I didn't get any flack. They said, yes, Sammy, we'll do it somewhere else. But Spark Steakhouse seemed to be the perfect place. We knew exactly what time he was going to pull up, exactly where he was going to park. We were able to eliminate people. I did have backup shooters just in case somebody did get involved. So we thought of everything, and this was the best place. Thank God there was no innocent people, kids, or anybody like that hurt. It was close up, done quickly, and it worked perfectly.
How did the commission allow the Bonannos to get so involved with the pizza connection, especially since Paul was so against drugs?
Listen, that was true. The Bonanno family was thrown out of, they lost their commission seat. They wouldn't listen to stay away from drugs. They threw him out of the seat. Later on, his book came out and hurt the Mafia. I just saw something. I'm working on the history of the Mafia, and I looked up something. There was 3 bosses who really banged into him about writing that book. They called him everything under the sun. They were really pissed off, similar to what John did. John Gotti flashed the mob. He exposed the mob. They didn't like that. I know that Anthony Reggiano's father, Fat Andy, and Tony Lee said that he should have been taken down as a boss or killed. They also felt that way about Joe Bonanno. When I sat in Paul's house, I told a story about it one day, and his book came out, and he told me, he said, Sammy, I'm going to give you a contract to go kill Joe Bonanno in Arizona. Of course, I said yes. I didn't know where it was. Arizona to me was like going to Mars. I was never there. I didn't know anything about it. While we talked, he changed his mind and said, Sam, forget about that. It's the Bonanno people's problem. He wrote the book. It's going to hurt a lot of people, and it's exposing the Mafia. And when you make it public like that, it's the same thing as ratting. It's not to them. You don't have to go and take the stand. If you're talking about it publicly, it's the same thing. It's actually worse. So they were calling them everything under the sun. When I do the history of the Mafia, I'll tell you who the bosses are, who we're talking. And there's a tape. I'm getting the tape now. And you'll hear who they are and exactly what they were saying about him. And I know for a fact that to Anthony Reggiano that they talked about killing John Gotti. The Genovese people gave a contract to their guys, Bobby Manor, the Jersey crew, to kill John Gotti. He actually went to prison for it. So these are things that are breaking the oath. You don't necessarily have to cooperate with the government and take the stand, and you're a rat. When you break the oath like that and you expose the whole Mafia, you're a rat too. You're not supposed to do that. This is a brotherhood and a secret society. So these guys wound up with labels with that. A lot of people I heard call John Gotti that. I say he wasn't a rat. I don't think so. No, he wasn't a rat. But he exposed the whole Mafia. When you do that, it would have been better if he was a rat. He would have ratted on 10 people. They would have went to jail. By doing what he did, destroyed the whole Mafia. So the same thing with Joe Bonanno.
Hey, Sammy, this comes from J. Marie. Any news on the show or the movie that you can share with us? How's the script coming along? Do you have any regular updates for us?
We don't have a regular update. I'm going to California in about a week or so, and I'm going to be talking about that. It moves along. It's moving along all the time. My team have writers, Terry Winter, Nick Pileggi, great writers. But even at that point, they're writing the script. They send it down to FX. Their team looks at it. They want to make some changes. It goes to Disney. They maybe want to make a change or two. And that takes time. Talking with lawyers, everything with lawyers takes time. So it takes time.
I have a comment in the chat from Danielle Calibracy. He says, I did some bad things in my past. I have been baptized and I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior. Tell Sammy to stay in God's Word, read the Bible, and tell him I will see him in heaven. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. As you already know, I became a born-again Christian in September. This September will be a year ago. I'm going back when I go to California. I'm sitting with that same pastor and his church, the Ocean Church in California, and I'm going to meet with him and do a small little show. He's telling me now that so many people who heard or know my past are fascinated with becoming a born-again Christian, and that I'm changing a lot of lives. If I could do it, a lot of other people could do it. I agree with him, and I hope that wasn't my intent, but it's my intent now. The more people who can change their lives, change them. You know, you want to stay in my life, you want to be me. I did 22 plus years in prison. That's what you're facing. Change your life, believe in God and believe in Jesus Christ. Change your life. There's a lot of legitimate business opportunities out there that you can make money. All of these YouTube and all of these different things, it's a good way to go. You know, you got to make up your own mind what you want to be and what you want to do. And if you want to change your life, you don't want to change your life. That's completely up to you. And I'll see you in heaven, bro.
Moving on, Redman asks, he says, hey girls, I hope you had a great weekend. Here is my question for today. Sammy, are you familiar with Frank Joya Jr.? He has a new YouTube channel and was a made man in the Lucchese family. He stated he was a hitter for Gas Pipe. He was pretty close to him. Do you ever remember him from the streets around Gas Pipe?
Frank Joya Jr. I didn't know him. I knew of him. He became a made guy in the Lucchese crime family on the Gas Pipe. He was a shooter, tough guy. I know at one point he had an argument with a friend of mine in a place, and they wound up in an argument, a fight, and they killed the guy. They kept it a secret because I believe Frankie Joya was the shooter, and they said Sammy's going to take a fit over this, and if he finds out who killed his guy, his friend, he may retaliate. So they kept it a secret from me. I found out years later in prison. He's doing a show. I didn't know that. He's probably a smart guy, knowledgeable guy. I wish him all the luck in the world. This YouTube stuff is a nightmare. People banging into you all the time, people calling you a liar, people who are jealous. I'm not that way. So, Frankie, good luck with your show. If you ever want to do an interview with me, maybe we could get together. I wonder if you remember the guy you shot and the story. So if you ever want to sit with me and talk, I got a good following. Maybe we can get together and talk. I could help you with your program. I'm sure that if you're doing this, you've changed your life. You probably cooperated and changed your life. So I'd be willing to sit and talk with you if you'd like.
Why did Westie's boss, Mickey Spelain, refuse to let the Genovese and Gambino families have a piece of the Javits Center construction?
I have no idea why he would do something like that. The Javits Center was a big construction site, and they had some control over that. I think that's probably why they killed him. But I have no idea why he would do something like that.
Kenneth Spawnberg asks, Sammy, was it considered ratting or a violation of omerta when Joe Bonanno wrote his book, Man of Honor? If so, why does the Bonanno family still bear his name?
I just talked about that, and yes, they consider it ratting in a way. Why would they keep his name? Because nobody wants to put their name there Now, if I was the boss of the Bonanno family, I would say I'm the boss of the Bonanno family. Let his name take the heat. I don't want to use my name, Gravano. My whole family's got the name Gravano. I don't want to smear it all over the place. It's the Gravano family. Gotti talked about it once, and a couple of us advised him. It's not a smart thing. Leave the name Gambino family there. It's not a smart thing to do. So I guess that's exactly what they did with Bonanno.
Matt Truden says, Sammy, who would you want to see play you in a future movie or show?
Who would I want to play me? I was talking to my people I'm working with about that now. I'm really not into picking names, but Cillian Murphy and Tom Hardy, I would love for them to play me, but they're big actors getting big money, and they're pretty busy, so I don't think I would get them. I'm not sure who it would be.
Do you think that it's strange that the Pope passed away the day after Easter?
I don't think it's strange, but I think it was a good thing because he was sick for a long time. He was 88 years old. He really wanted to go and do the Easter thing with the crowd. He did that. He went out with a truck, a van, and he was going around waving to people, touching little kids. He did what he wanted to do. And Easter Monday, he died. So he completed what he wanted to do. He lived a great life. So be it. You know, is it, I don't know, is it strange? I don't know. He's 88. He was sick a long time. I don't think it's too strange.
V says, hi, Sammy. It was beautiful seeing you getting baptized.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Taryn would like to know, how is Karen these days?
My daughter Karen is doing very well. She's got a business in Jersey. She's an esthetician. She's making women more beautiful, giving them facials and stuff like that. We're very close. She's doing very well. It's the Body Depot is the name of it. So if you're in Jersey and you want to go for a good facial and stuff like that, she's great. She really is. She's been an esthetician in Arizona, and it's a different license. She's got that license. And then she moved to New York. She's got that license. So she's licensed in 3 different states. She's very good at it. She's got a great partner, from what I understand, Melissa, I think her name is. And they do great work. I know I sent people there, and they got back to me and told me, Sammy, your daughter's great.
Mr. Gravano, how did you deal with union problems?
With union problems, I talk with them, I terrorized them a little bit and wanted them to do what I wanted them to do. I bribed them, gave them, they made money with me. It was fairly easy. You know, a lot of people don't notice, and I'm talking about in the history of the Mafia. The Mafia is what was behind the unions. They got people to form unions, and it gave them strength and power. People power. And they would bribe people and do things, and they would make money. The union leaders would make money. The whole fucking thing was corrupt. Unions were good. People got raises and made money. And they all thought it was good. So everybody thought it was a good idea. It really wasn't as good as you think. They raised prices on everything. Not like these greedy politicians do now. We raised it enough where we could take our little piece and eat without hurting the whole public in general. There was raises, but not like now. Now these politicians raise prices that we can't even afford to eat on a good salary. The Mafia was behind the unions. I'll give you an example. Years ago, the cars, let's say they were 20, 25,000. Unions got involved, and then as union people retired, they kept paying the union workers. So what does that mean? New workers are getting paid, the retired ones are getting paid, the union people are happy. It seems like everybody's happy, but that $25,000 car now went to 27, and then 30, and then 35, and 40. And now you're paying 40, 50, 60,000 for a bullshit car. And what do you think that is? By accident? That came from unions and deals that they made that don't hurt the public right away, but in time, all of those retired people getting money, and they do that money. I don't begrudge them, but that's how the unions dealt and worked, and that's what really made cars and a lot of other clothes, you name it, everything went up with unions. So it was good in one way and horrible in another way. And the Mafia loved it because we made a living with that, a lot of money.
Sammy, did you ever meet the Iceman? I think he was on the run before they found him.
Yeah, the Iceman was a fake, a phony, a complete jerk off. He killed a few people. He says he killed 200 people. He was a serial killer. He was full of shit. He cooperated against me. I got pinched on a case with the Iceman. He said that we did a hit together. It was total bullshit. And he was a fake about a lot of things. And thank God I beat the case. I fought the case. I beat the case. But he was a complete fake. He'll be in my scripted show, obviously. He said that me and him killed a cop. It was a cold case, 21 years prior. I got arrested on that case. I had the case for 4 or 5 years, about 4 years. And I beat the case because he was a fraud. He was a fake.
Sammy, what's your opinion on the music industry nowadays?
The music industry was always a tough area. But degenerates like P. Diddy and these people here, that brought this to a whole nother level. I never seen or heard of anything like it, so I think it's a disgrace.
Do you have any stories from Queens?
Stories from Queens, hundreds of them. John Gotti came from Queens, a lot of guys came from Queens, so Angelo Ruggiero, a lot of guys. So I knew a lot of guys from Queens, a lot of stories. You know, my scripted show, when my scripted show comes out, you're going to hear all of these stories and everybody who's involved.
So even though you have a scripted show on the way, would you ever consider a video game about your life?
A video game? Yeah, I did. One game I wanted you to pull the plug, you put the money in, it goes straight to my bank account and I rob you. I mean, they didn't want me to play that game.
Hello from Rhode Island. Where do you get your hat?
Where I get to my hats? In a store. We'll be selling that out. We're going to do a clothing line. I'm working with Megan, and we're working on a clothing line, and we got hats, tracksuits, all kinds of stuff. I met this girl. She's a saint. Well, she's not a saint, but she's a designer, a clothing designer, and we happened to see her show. I wound up getting in touch with her. I talked to her once or twice on the phone. We came down, we had a meeting. She blew me away. She was great. And she was up and coming in the field. A lot of people know her. Her stuff is great. You know, I'm doing some racing now, race cars. She designed some of the things that are going to be on the race cars. I can't believe it. She blows me away. She's really, really good. I think we're going to have a great clothing line. When I talked to her, I said, I want to take the old style of gangster clothing and the new style. Someplace in the middle, I want to have my clothing line. Tracksuits and stuff, suits, sport jackets, stuff like that. The hats, this hat. Years ago when I was young, they used to call it a newspaper boy's hat. Now in Peaky Blinders, the movie, they wore this, so they call it a Peaky Blinder hat. I wear it a lot. I wear it all the time, basically. Now, there's a reason for it. Look, here, my barber. Look at this, my barber. There's no hair on my head, so I cover my bald head with this hat. I think I'm better looking with the hat, so I leave it there. But yes, we're going to be selling them. We're looking for quality stuff, and that's what I like about this girl. You know, they're making clothes now out of polyester. It's plastic. Throwaway shit from China and stuff like that. You buy something, it's cheaper, but you wind up throwing it away. We want to make a line that has cotton material that you could wear it more than once, 10 times without throwing it away. And we want to make good clothing. Now, it's going to be a little more expensive maybe, but you're going to see it's very little polyester, if any at all. We haven't come to a conclusion on it, so I don't want to discuss every part of it. I will eventually, as soon as we get it nailed down, me and Megan, and we're going to make some commercials and talk about it and stuff like that.
We are going to go back into the super chats. Pizza Dave says, Frank Joya Jr. is the newest addition to the mob genre. He's in Arizona. Have you crossed paths?
No, not yet. I mean, like I said before, I have a lot of respect for him, and if he changed his life and he wants to do a show, he's in here in Arizona, he's welcome to come down. I'll do a show with him. I have nothing, against him. I know he killed somebody. It was, I didn't like it at the time, but I understand the life. Things you can't change sometimes when things happen. He was with Gas Pipe, who was a fucking lunatic. So maybe he had orders to do something and he did it. So I understand the life. And if I come across him, as far as I'm concerned, there won't be any problems.
Shout out to Ernesto Carbone. No question or comment.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Ernesto.
Sean
Mark says, Dear Sammy, can you share any stories about Frankie Dico that maybe you haven't shared before?
Well, Frankie Dico was extremely close to me, a close friend. He was much older than me, so he was like a big brother to me. I have hundreds of stories. It'll be in my scripted show, so I really don't want to give up too many stories because it'll be there, and I'm under contract. I'm not even supposed to talk about it, but he was a great guy, a real tough guy. He was always for the underdog. I love that about him, and his whole family was connected. Uncles, his father, everybody. I think the women were connected, to tell you the truth.
He also follows up with shotgun or 357.
A 357 Magnum could kill a fucking elephant with one shot. A shotgun is just as devastating. It has to be a 12 gauge, 00 buck Magnum shells. And that comes out, when it comes out, there's 9 little steel balls in it. So when that shot is coming out, it's like 9 shots at once. So imagine getting hit with 9 hunks of steel into your body. That could stop a car. You shoot a car in the front while it's running. They did a movie one time. The whole fucking front of the car blew up. Either way, whoever you're shooting at is dead. But I don't suggest kill anybody. I can't be doing that. So, but both of them are devastating weapons.